Perfect mock drafts, named after the perfect comedian Chris Farley.
Yeah, things are going great.
Continue here in the Sportsocracy, and it's time to talk about my Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Fire them cannons! By golly, put more powder in those things. God, I'm going to miss Gene Deckerhoff. Sad to see him go this year, but glad to have Tom Brady back as the quarterback of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
You should be, because you were on the short path to the shithole.
Yes, indeed we were. So the way this works is Flostradamus, Jeremy Greene, has picked the best possible draft that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers could end up with, and in the first round, 27th overall, I think this is the way it really goes. This is the way I'm praying that it really goes, is Zion Johnson. Hope to God he's still there for the Bucs. The guard out of Boston College.
Well, the only thing that would preclude that from happening is if somebody got in front of you. And the team you need to watch is Seattle, because there's two players that see, and this is one of the things that you have to pay attention to when you're doing mock drafts, when you're leading into the draft the way we are right now. Seattle has been very interested in players that don't make any sense for the pick they're sitting at. There's no way they think Zion Johnson's going to get to 40. So why'd you bring him to the building? Why are you letting everyone know that you're interested in him and Tyler Linderbaum? Well, because you're trying to make a move. And that's what John Schneider does, is move down in the draft. The question is there anybody out there that somebody would move up to get in front of the Jets? I would be looking at Drake London, Jameson Williams, who I've already told you I feel very sure is going to go in the top 10. If not the top 10, then the somebody trading up with the Jets, somebody in that realm. And Seattle could be that team. That's the one thing that could screw you. Now, in terms of the player, you watch the film on him, and it's very obvious that he's a very fluid mover, really aggressive, just fits what this Tampa Bay offense wants to do, and this would basically solidify the entire line. Now there's nothing that you need moving forward, and you have set yourself up in the best position possible to make the most of the final ride of the great hemorrhoid himself, Tom Brady.
He'll never go away.
He's like a herpes sore. He just never goes away. Like it keeps happening. And I understand, Tampa fans, you love him. For me, he's haunted my nightmares for 3 fucking years.
Yeah, because he's a Jets fan, so he had to put up with him in New England, and then he comes to my team, and now he has to come into work every day and work with me.
Which is just poopy.
Okay. Number 60 overall in the second round at Tampa Bay. Adding to the defensive line here, Logan Hall, defensive tackle from Houston.
There are two players in this draft that I feel like they were miscast in what they were asked to do in college, because I don't think they're natural edges. Logan Hall is one of them, and Cameron Thomas from San Diego State is the other. What I think they do is play 3-4 end, so this would be the Ndamukong Suh replacement because he's very long. You might have to bulk him up a little bit, but he's a tremendous interior pass rusher. You saw a little bit of that at Houston. The thing about Houston defensive linemen is that they just never settle them anywhere. Going back to Ed Oliver, you couldn't figure out exactly what he was because they move them around all the time. So Logan Hall's going to get pushed down because he's not as dynamic of an edge as you would look for him to be if that's what you're drafting him to be. Now in Tampa, all I need you to do is be a pass rushing force, rotate with Nunez Roches, and that's exactly what he would do. Long-term, that's his fit. I think he's a very, very good player and has just unlimited potential in the league, and that could be found in a Todd Bowles defense in Tampa Bay.
In the third round, the Bucs pick at number 91 overall, Nik Bonitto, edge rusher from Oklahoma.
This is a player that there are a lot of varying grades on. Some people think he's a stand-up 4-3 linebacker, and I think he could do that. I just think that's much more of a transition than what he would do here. This would make him the third pass rusher, rotation with Shaq Barrett and Joe Tryon-Shoyinka that you took in the first round last year. I don't love Joe Tryon. I don't mind him. I mean, he's fine. And you saw a lot in the rookie year of what I was talking about, that it's going to take some time. He's slated in to be the second starter this year. So I think early in the draft, finding him some help on no doubt passing downs where you can move him, to the inside, move him on the line, just make him more multiple would help, and Nik Bonitto very well could be that.
In the fourth round, 133 overall, Donovan West, center from Arizona State.
The thing of Tampa Bay is that you just don't have a whole lot of needs. And before anybody says receiver, how many fucking receivers do you think you need? I mean, it's dumbfounding to me how many people think they should go receiver in the first round. That just blows my mind. Donovan West is a player that's going to need a little bit of work. He's a little thin. And when I say thin, I don't necessarily mean weight. I mean frame. Because you want him to be more of a Brian Haynes used to call him hog-a-mollies. He's not really that right now. What he is a very athletic, good move. I could see him as a pull guy in the NFL. And for now, he's going to be a backup center. He's going to be a backup guard. If anything happened, this gives you a little insulation because this is not the deepest team you've ever seen. You're going to have to figure out how to work with his hands because he does not have he's got good hands. He just doesn't use them appropriately. I say this a lot with corners. Their brain and their feet don't line up. Well, with Donovan West, there are times his hands and his brain don't seem to work in one accord. He can do great things shifting speed into power. The only problem is that sometimes it led to penalties at times and led to him just getting blown by. Not often, but it happened. Those are just things you have to round out in the NFL. Would be the ultimate replacement to Ryan Jensen a couple years down the road.
Tampa has no picks in the 5th or the 6th round, but 2 in the 7th round at 249 overall. Tell me about Garrett Prince, the tight end out of UAB. We haven't discussed this guy at all.
I love when teams schedule visits with players I haven't had the opportunity to talk about at all, and that's what Gerritt Prince is. He came to UAB as a receiver, and it's very obvious. He is not going to give you very much in the way of blocking, but the speed is good. Almost 6'5", about 240 pounds, and with no Rob Gronkowski committed to right now, even if he does commit, I don't really care because this is just a piece. This is a mismatch piece. This would be the most athletic tight end that Tom has played with since he who shall not be mentioned, Aaron Hernandez. Mm-hmm. And he's just a height, weight, speed guy. He's super raw. I mean, you're going to have to work with him. He's probably going to spend some time on the practice squad initially, but we all know how Tom feels about tight ends. And if you could put the work into him, I don't know that he's ever going to be a featured piece of an offense, but I think he can be a 15, 20 snap a game guy that's just a horrid mismatch because he's so fast for his size. Think of Darren Waller if you ordered him on Wish. That's kind of what Gerritt Prince is.
The next to last pick in the draft belongs to Tampa at 262 overall. Hassan Haskins, the running back out of Michigan.
And this is a replacement, not to what Ronald Jones did. I think it's very obvious at this point that you're committed to Leonard Fournette. You've got Keyshawn Vaughn that can do more of the receiving thing. Still got Giovanni Bernard. This is the thumper between the tackles. I am not as high on Hassan Haskins as a lot of people are. The good was very good. I mean, you saw him have tremendous games. The Ohio State game was phenomenal. But then he had other games where you forgot he was on the team. And that's, to me, why I think he'll be around at the end of the draft. Could be a priority free agent, but would have a role in Tampa, short yardage. That's just how he strikes me. I don't think he's ever going to be more than a rotational back in the NFL, but what he can come in and do immediately is exactly what Tampa Bay doesn't really have in their offense right now, and I see a great value in that with the next to last pick in the draft.
Well, the perfect draft for the perfect team. We'll be champions again. It'll be fine.
Well, Lottie frickin' da!
Tell us what you think about this Chris Farley perfect draft for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the comments.
If you have players you'd like to know how they fit with the Buccaneers, if you have a mock draft of your own that you would like to throw in the comments, or if you have questions that you would like answered in our mailbag segments that we will be doing leading up to the draft, feel free to throw those in the comments. And frankly, if you want to tell me,
Mom, I wish you could be Santa's little helper and shut your damn cake hole.
You can do that too. You call me a big ginger mulleted man bun dipshit. That's fine. Words on the internet do not hurt me. I grew up drinking Four Locos in the woods. It takes a little more than words to get to me.
We will be covering each and every pick of the NFL Draft live here in the Sportsocracy on that Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Be sure to hit the subscribe button so you get all of our team-by-team content that we provide throughout the entire year. Really, there is no offseason for the NFL anymore. I'm Tank Spencer. He's Jeremy Greene. We always come to you from the Ingles studio. Ingles Supermarkets, low prices, love the savings, and we will see you next time.